hydraulic oil temperature high, then extremely high, then shutdown. 3 separate codes in this machine's table. 2 of them are warnings. Most System 185 operators only ever meet the 3rd one. By then the day is over and somebody's making a phone call, so we start where the wear actually starts, the walk-around, before your hand ever touches the key. Open the rear door. The manual wants your eyes on fluid levels, leaks, and connections before anything spins. It also wants combustibles kept away from this machine. That warning ends with the words injury or death. Well, that's not legal padding. Try debris packs into an engine bay and sits there against parts that get hot. Next, the air filter. You don't have to guess on this one. The machine has a code for it. M1117 air filter plugged. It shows on the instrument panel, which means the machine noticed before you did. There's an outer element and an inner one. Replace the inner every 3rd time you replace the outer. People skip the inner one for years because nothing visibly happens. Nothing visible isn't the same as nothing. Now the key. On a cold morning, the glow plugs do the warming and the controller is grading their work. M2102, glow plug output error, ON. M2103, error off. M2107, open circuit. M2107, open circuit. M21021, glow plug output failure. 4 separate codes for one small heating job. Tells you how much of a cold start is riding on it. Sit down first. Seat belt, seat bar down. The controller is watching that bar with its own sensor. MI1121 is seat bar sensor out of range. High. The bar isn't a courtesy. It's an input being read. Here's the part nobody explains. This machine won't hand you hydraulics until it's satisfied you're settled. So you climb in, pull the bar, pull a lever, and nothing moves. Don't panic. Read the panel. W3235, tilt handle or pedal not in neutral. W3240, lift handle or pedal not in neutral. Both mean the same simple thing. Something was already asking for movement before the machine was ready to give it. Feet off the pedals, let the handles center, and it releases. That's most no hydraulics calls, solved right there. But there's a second pair of codes that look almost identical, and they don't mean the same thing at all. W3234 is tilt actuator, not in neutral. W3239 is lift actuator, not in neutral. Actuator, not handle. Handle codes are about you. Actuator codes are about the machine. One is a habit, the other is a repair. And there's a family underneath them, W3249 and W3250, lift and tilt actuator short to ground. W321 and W322 are those same actuators shorted to battery. W331 and W333 types are outright actuator faults. You don't memorize those, you just stop assuming an actuator code means you did something wrong in the seat. Now, cranking. If it won't turn over, resist the urge to start buying parts on the way to work. The manual's own troubleshooting list opens with grounds. Corroded or loose grounds create symptoms that look like 10 other problems. Check grounds and positive leads first, then connector pins pushed back or bent, and loose spade connectors in the fuse holder. That last one is the classic. A spade connector that's merely almost seated behaves exactly like a dead component. Brake solenoid wiring should read 12 volts. That's a 2-minute check with a meter you already own. The flywheel RPM sensor and its wiring are on that list too, called out by name. Not a guess. Starter codes exist as well. M222 output error ON, M223 error OF, M223 error off, M227 open circuit, M2220 output error. Plus Min232 and M233 for the starter relay itself. The machine is separating the relay from the starter for you. And speaking of the panel, it's telling you more than you think, and it's quietly throwing old information away. The display lists the code number and its description. If more than one code is present, they scroll. The newest code sits in position 1. As new codes arrive, the oldest one drops off the list entirely. So ignoring a code for a week doesn't mean it waited for you. It means it got pushed off the end. 2 panel messages aren't faults at all. REPL-WE means one or both instrument panels aren't communicating with the controller. Code means the controller is asking for a password. Nothing's broken there. You're just being asked who your M3204 is workgroup no communication. M3128 is interrupted power failure. Communication problems, not mechanical ones. Different search entirely. Now here's the thing that changes how you read this whole panel, and it's been hiding in plain sight. Engine speed high is M061, engine speed extremely high is M061, and engine speed shutdown is M0615. Engine coolant temperature high is M0810. Extremely high is M081. Shutdown is M0810. Same 3 steps. Hydraulic oil temperature high, M0712. Extremely high, M071. Shutdown, M0715. 3 systems, 3 stages each. That's the design. The machine complains, then it complains louder, then it stops protecting your day and protects itself. So on this machine's table, a shutdown code is never the first thing that happened. It's the third thing. If that just changed how you read a panel, that's exactly what this channel is for. Stick around, because the habits that decide a machine's life are almost entirely about never letting it reach stage 2. Start with heat, since heat is the thing sitting on every one of those ladders we just walked. Coolers and radiator cores pack with dust from the inside out. A core that looks clean can still be blocked. This machine even has a hydraulic fan circuit with its own codes. M355 short to battery, M356 surge to ground. M357 is hydraulic fan open circuit. M3532 is overcurrent. A cooling problem often announces itself as an electrical one. Then charge pressure, the quiet one. M0521 is out of range high. M0522 is out of range low. An M0515 is hydraulic charge pressure shutdown. Same escalation, same rule. The shutdown was never the beginning of it. Charge pressure lives downstream of a filter, so start there. M1117 is hydraulic charge filter plugged. N16 is the other half, hydraulic charge filter not connected, which tends to appear right after somebody serviced it. Which brings us to what actually separates 3,000 hours from 10,000. It's the first 50. Certain items get checked every 8 to 10 hours for the first 24 hours. Not once, repeatedly. After that, 50-hour intervals. And several items are marked, perform at first 50 hours, then as scheduled. The hydraulic and hydrostatic filter element gets replaced after that first 50 hours, not at the normal interval. After that first change, you replace it when the service code appears. The machine takes over the scheduling. There's a 500-hour tier as well. Perform at first 500 hours, then as scheduled from there. And one line most owners read straight past, change oil and filter every 100 hours under severe conditions. Severe isn't the badge you have to earn. Dust, heat, and long hours under load describe most skid steer work. Now the number people get wrong, and it's the one on this machine that can actually hurt somebody. The relief valve on this machine is 30,300 psi, 228 bar. That's it. The manual says it flatly, don't exceed 3,300 psi. That's a ceiling, not a target. And before you test anything, the fluid has to be warm. 140 Fahrenheit, 60 Celsius. You get it there by turning the restrictor control on the tester to about 1,000 psi and letting it work. Cold fluid reads differently. Testing cold is how you end up chasing a problem that only existed in the gauge. Checking cylinders one at a time with the rear door open. That's the instruction, and the order matters. And the line that repeats on nearly every adjustment page, this work must be done by authorized Bobcat service personnel. It repeats because adjustments on a live pressurized system can cause injury or death. The manual never softens that once. So here's the whole thing. Machines that reach 10,000 hours aren't the ones that were babied on easy jobs. They're the ones where somebody reads stage 1, high, before extremely high, plugged, before shutdown. Every time. Every expensive failure on this machine had a cheap code in front of it, scrolling on a panel nobody read. Warm it before you test it, respect the first 50 hours, let the handle center, and treat every high as a countdown. Subscribe for daily diagnostics. Next one we take the code table apart, which codes mean stop now, and which mean finish the pile. The exact specs are in the service manual linked below. Like this if it saved you a guess.